So today we're going to be hopping back into our life. There isn't a lot left to do in Slime Rancher, and a lot of it's grindy, and I don't know how entertaining it's going to be. So I figured we'd hop back into this, put a little bit more time, and get through these DLCs. So without further ado, let's just hop into this. Also, I'm recording during the daytime for once. So everybody's awake. Lee's visit today turned out to be more involved than you expected. After overhearing where the Holden family was going, Lee insisted on seeing Mr. Holden's shop firsthand. An hour later, and Lee was busy looking at every item on display. Because Cove's dad offered supplies, lessons, tours, his shop had all the scuba related stuff you could imagine: fins, masks, suits, and snorkels. After circling around the shop, you finally stopped and looked at the whole room. This was the first time you've been here too. It wasn't often you tagged along to hang out at the shop. You spent a lot of time here over the years. I imagine we spent a lot of time here because we like swimming. Sorry, popping my ears. Ooh. The shop was as familiar to you as your own neighborhood. It was practically another extension of home. You were still bursting with excitement. You were in good spirits. It was a pleasant surprise. You felt okay, not your first choice, but not bad. You were unhappy. Was this really all you were going to do? I say we were in good spirits. Because we're not always excited going back to a new place, but we at least like the place if we're going back. You enjoyed showing Lee around the shop. Doing this was better than just telling her about it. Lee was still busy poking through the various wetsuit displays, so you decided to see what Derek and Cove were doing. They were absorbed in their conversation to notice you standing near them leaning against the counter. You were able to pick up the topic quickly. My dad told me the new stuff is selling like crazy. Yeah, the material has this new blend with less neoprene. My dad says people are really interested in it. It brought a smile to your face hearing that the shop was doing well. You decided to keep listening. You decided to join the conversation. You couldn't resist teasing the boys. I feel like this one is the one for us. I think I figured out Mr. Holden and Miss Swart's secret to running this place. Cove crossed his arms and looked at you with an eyebrow raised, while Derek gave you a genuine confused look. You motioned with your hand for them to lean in close. Clearly, they realized they could sell anything with all the handsome faces in this place. Cove's face immediately went red over the suggestion. He looked away, shaking his head. Derek, too, took it in stride. And that's why I'm here learning from the best. But really, there's just so much to think about with a business. It's crazy. No matter how much I come, I still don't think I get it. Cove hummed and nodded in agreement, causing a good humored laugh from Derek. I thought you only liked scuba diving part, not the job part. That's just the best part. I think about the other things too. Cool. The business side, running it, that's my favorite. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught movement, and you realized that Lee was now standing next to you. When your dad retires, do you guys think you're going to carry on the store? Both sons shrug in unison. There's a ton of things I could do. My dad thinks so too. He doesn't want me to plan on working here forever. Cove's gaze fell to the floor. You could see the conflict flashing across his face. I don't know. It's a lot being the real boss of something and totally in charge. If my mom's had their own business, I'd take it over. If my mom's had one, I wouldn't want to take over it either. Can't run a business. I wouldn't want to take over someone else's shop either. I want to do my own thing. Then do you think your dads would let me take over the shop? No matter what you both do, shop or no shop, you'll be amazing. I feel like we gotta choose that because we don't want them to feel forced. Derek smiled, equal parts happiness and bashfulness. He bounced on his feet a bit. Thanks, Ari. I'm happy you believe in us. Me too. Cove's parents left to the back office and came. Cove's parents left the back office and came over, catching your attention. Sorry, kids. It looks like it's gonna be a long one. I know usually others hold the fort down, but I really need to stay here today. I know you just wanted a little visit. It'd be boring to get stuck all day because of me. Kara can take my car and go back to the neighborhood. Cove and Derek gave him an understanding look. Mr. Holden crossed his arms and flashed you all a big smile, trying to lift the mood. The one condition is that someone has to remember to come back for me later. You don't get to strand me here, no matter how funny that might be. Kara laughed and gave a thumbs up. Mr. Holden seemed satisfied with that. He moved on with an explanation. Derek, your dad also has his hands full today, so he doesn't have time to run you back home.
It's okay.
That's all right, sir. The title sir got an awkward chuckle out of Cliff, which was cut short when Kyra elbowed him
What
teasingly.
do you think?
You already said I could borrow your car. Why don't I take all the kids somewhere fun for the afternoon?
Absolutely.
That's fine with me. Just please come back eventually, sometime today, Kira. After multiple jokes about being left with no ride, you had to wonder that if that actually happened in their past together. For you, my good sir, I swear, cross my heart. Happy with the promise, Cliff took out his black wallet and offered a $50 bill to Kira. Here, in case you need gas or anything while you're out. Kira smiled knowingly and accepted the bill without hesitation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ko's dad stuck the wallet into his back pocket while he waved with his free hand. Okay, time for me to jump back into work. Have fun for me. Bye, Dad. Bye. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, Mr. Holden. Goodbye, sir, madams, and most respectable guests. He left the room with a wink and a flare, disappearing into the employees only area of the shop. When Mr. Holden was out of sight, Kira silently strolled over to the counter and carefully placed the 50 bill in there. She turned back around and beamed a large smile at you and the others. Come on, gang, let's see if this town has a mall. Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy while Cove and Derek just grinned. There wasn't a mall in your hometown, but Mr. Holden's store wasn't in Sunsetburg. It might be possible to find a mall out here. You felt pumped, you felt okay about it, you didn't really want to go there. I feel like we'd been excited to just go somewhere. Heck yeah! Let's go! She quickly herded the group out of the store and into the car. As the driver, I get to choose my partner in crime. Naturally, I bestow the position of shotgun to my baby. Her comment had both Derek and Lee snickering. Cove rolled his eyes at his mom and opened the front passenger door. You decided to stick up for Cove. You decided to join in and complain in special treatment. You were fine with that. You kept quiet. I feel like we're going to stick up for him, man. Cove's not a baby. He can decide wherever he wants to sit. Cove ran a hand nervously through his hair. He was in disbelief that you disagreed with his parent like that. Ari, you're right. Cove's not a baby, but he will always be my baby, a precious baby boy. Kira turned to Cove. Her expression lit up just by looking at him, and he became even more awkward. I couldn't think of anyone better I'd want sitting shotgun with me, but if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. I love him no matter what. I'm already here. I'll just stay. He still looked like he wanted to crawl out of his own skin. Unfortunately, your attempt to help backfired. Moms could be tricky that way. I'll take the middle seat. Really? Yeah, I don't want a window seat. You two can have them. Are you cool with that? You thought it was odd that anyone would give up a window seat, but you knew Derek tried to be especially polite when he was a guest. You nodded. Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement. Everyone squeezed into the car, buckling, and Kira turned the radio on, setting it to a top 40s pop station. You were into it. You didn't like it. You asked if the radio station could be changed. I love pop, so we're going to go with we were into it. Quickly, you recognized the song playing. It was a new one by an artist you were listening to a lot recently. It wasn't long until your group realized that they were lost, but after driving in enough circles, Kira's struggles paid off when she found a local mall. There were more cheers from Lee as Kira pulled into a parking spot. Once your group made it inside, the first order of business on the trip was checking what the mall actually had. Where should we go? I think I see a makeup store up ahead. She rolled on her tippy toes to get a better view. Meanwhile, Derek was eyeing a directory. There's a chocolate shop. Seriously, we have to go there. Yes, wait. And we need to find a decent jewelry shop. I need new hair ties and barrettes.
Nice.
We've got to at least look for a game store. There's a ton of things you can get anywhere, but a store that's just for video games? Hey, what are you thinking about, Cove? I want to look at the fish in the pet store. You could have guessed that much. Anywhere else? He smiled with some bashfulness. Can we go to a camping and outdoor supply shop? What about you, Ari? Clothing, accessories, makeup, video games, chocolate, pet, camping, food court, bookstore, art supply, video games, music, art, book, food, pet, clothing, chocolate, and camping. I'm not a makeup or an accessories person. That's certainly a list. Good thing we have all afternoon. Yeah, I have my own stops I want to make. Let's agree to regroup here at 7 p.m.
What?
You're not coming with us? We're all in the same building. You won't be as alone as you think. I only be a few minutes away at most. You're old enough to enjoy the mall without me hovering. Okay.
See you soon.
Be back here at 7 p.m. Toodaloo. Leaving Derek and Lee stunned by their newfound freedom, Kara walked off while she was almost out of sight. Derek's face twisted into confusion. Wow, she's really gone. I can't believe she just did that. This is cool. We get to do whatever we want. You were happy about it. Talk about amazing opportunity. You felt unsure about the situation. Was this really okay? You felt okay about the situation. You were unhappy about it. This was not what you had in mind. I would have been excited. Because no parents. This is really exciting. With the decision already made, Derek tried to pull together his earlier enthusiasm for the trip. So, where are we going first? Time's a wasting. Whatever's closest. Things were coming together, but you realized there might be a flaw in today's sudden plan. What's wrong, Ari? Did everybody bring money with them? Yeah, I did. I always have some on me when I come all the way out here. You had money too? You left all your money at home. The original plan was only visiting Mr. Holden's store. You didn't have any money at all since you always ended up spending it when you got it. I always had some money. You immediately you felt better about the situation. It would have been a downer not to be able to even think about something at the mall because they didn't have money. I'm good. Now that everybody was squared away, you explored them all together as a group. There were many shops that you managed to venture into so far. You all even went into a video game store, leaving you with a pep in your step. This was better than you thought, and there was still so much to see. After having hit many of the top priority stores, you found yourself passing a small booth. It was decorated in wind chimes of various sizes. You raised a hand up to the other small ones. Do you want one? It wasn't until Lee asked that you realized that you had stopped in front of the booth without saying anything. Lee just continued to encourage you. You should get one. I'm just looking. I don't really like them. You wanted one, but for someone else, you didn't want one. I'm that person who would just be like, I'm just looking. It's nice to check stuff out. Lee hummed in agreement and then stared past the booth. Following her gaze, you saw the boys were already wandering too far ahead. Let's go. After leaving another clothing store, one that Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found themselves walking down the main hall of the mall. Oddly enough, Cove started drifting to the side. Hey, where are you going? I want to get a smoothie. Cove turned around, walking backwards to get a better view of everyone's reaction. The moment he said smoothie, everyone perked up, remembering there was a popular smoothie place somewhere around here. You should have said it sooner. You should have said so sooner. As you approached, your eye was drawn to the dizzying list of smoothie combinations. A part of you wondered how long it would take to try them all. Hi there, do you need the rundown of how this works? Yes, please. Okay, so first you pick up to 3 options of fruit or berries, then add the ice and the store special smoothie base mix, and then you'll have your very own smoothie for $4. There's only one size. Cove leaned over to the counter a bit. For several moments, he intently studied the plentiful fruits and berry options. I want to get a strawberry banana smoothie with coconut too. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting something? Can I get one that's just all mango? Of course. I'd like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries for mine, thanks. The shopkeeper looked at you. I fucking love a smoothie. Could I get... Where is it? Blueberry. I fucking love blueberries. Blueberry, mango, kiwi. That's everything. I thought everyone went ahead and paid for their individual drinks. You waited over at the other side of the booth where the drinks were put when they were done. Derek bounced on his feet, excited for his to be ready. This is going to be good. Liam chimed in with her own enthusiasm. Everybody says their smoothie-based stuff can make any drink great. Cove, while quieter, looked just as eager for his smoothie. Luckily, there hadn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collected the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Straws were placed through the opening at the top of the cup, and the first tentative sips were had. Derek sighed in satisfaction after his taste. Mango is too delicious. Mine is super good too. Cove nodded and hummed in agreement. His straw was still in his mouth. You were happy with yours. You were regretting your choices. You thought it was okay. You thought it was as great as you expected when you picked it. I like that one. Mine doesn't taste the way I thought it would. Is it any good at least? I don't know.
That's a bummer.
Sorry, Abby. Maybe you'll have better luck next time. You asked if you could try Lee's smoothie. You asked if you could try Derek's smoothie. You asked if you could try Co's smoothie. Sneakily, you wanted to steal a sip of someone else's smoothie. You didn't pay much attention to the other's drink. I want Derek's. You got all mango. Can I have a sip of yours, Derek? You can. He held out his cup for you to take it, but instead it was easier just to lean forward and take a sip from a straw. He blushed slightly at the gesture. That is good mango. Thanks. You're welcome. You were satisfied with that. You wanted to ask someone to try their smoothie. Sneakily, you wanted to steal a sip of someone else's smoothie. Let's try, please. Hey, Lee, can I taste what you got? As long as you let me try yours too. Deal. You and Lee swapped cups and took several sips before swapping back. The berry blend was taste very strong. I like yours, but I'm really, really happy I got this. Thanks, Lee.
You're welcome.
I'm always there to help. And we're also going to ask Cove for a sip of his. Cove, could I have a drink of yours? Cove shook his head without a word. Not for 1 second since getting it has his lips been apart from the straw. He didn't look like he planned on stopping anytime soon. As your group continued to wander the mall, you came to an area in the path that was wider. Oh! In the center of the opening was a collection of corridor-operated rides on machines. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them smiling ear to ear. I want to ride. I think we might be too big.
No way.
No way. We're not that old yet. He eagerly headed over to the machines, wanting to get a better look. Lee went along with it, smiling. You thought this idea was childish. You wanted to ride too. You didn't care one way or the other. You stayed quiet about it. I would have wanted to ride too. You quickly chased after Derek. He turned his head back to the sound of your footsteps and gave a thumbs up over his shoulder. Reconvening around Derek, you watched as he was focused on the various brightly colored rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles. There was also some horse-shaped ones. One of them could even seat 2 people. I called the helicopter. Why?
Cool.
It's the coolest, and I think it'll move the most. He started digging in his pocket, pulling out whatever money he had left. Wait, is everything okay? I need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. I only have 2. There has to be more between all of us. Hold on. Pockets, wallets, and purses were checked over. Derek still had 2. Cove had 1. Lee ended up with the most at 3. You didn't have any. You can have mine. Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me, and even if it was, I'd be dumb to ride while you had to watch. Cove shrugged, and he had tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Why don't we all get on one ride? Couldn't we exchange dollar bills from a quarter at a store? He didn't offer up a suggestion. I would have been that person. Derek slapped a hand to his cheeks, eyes wide. Oh yeah, that'll work. Let's do it. The group scattered to various shops around. When you shortly reconvened at the rides, everyone had more than enough quarters. There was no wiping the smile off your face. Despite the little hiccup initially, the plan to hitch a ride was coming together. Let's get this over with. We have the coins.
Okay.
Cheer up, man. It's gonna be good. Yeah. Okay. There were enough machines that everyone claimed one for themselves. Derek got his coveted helicopter. Lee was happy on a horse. Cove waited to choose last. It seemed he didn't want to take a ride someone else wanted when he cared so little about it. You picked horse, motorcycle, single-seater, double-seater. I want the motorcycle. It was definitely the coolest ride around. Cove took one of the free single-seater cars once you'd gotten set. Looks were exchanged across the way. You each plopped the coins in at the same time. The little ride strutted to life. The machines began to move up and down, side to side. Lee and Derek couldn't contain their laughter. Derek started waving from the window of the helicopter, and Lee reached out to see if she could touch anyone as their machines jolted closer to hers. Cove, on the other hand, just gripped the sides of the car. He was struggling to remain in the seat, looking very uncomfortable. You were quickly regretting your decision to do this. You waved back. You stretched over to grab Lee's hand. You tried to encourage Cove. You personally just sat quietly. I would have been that person. Let's grab Lee's hand. Grinning, you leaned forward to reach as far as you could. For a moment, a shot of panic went through you as you thought you were about to tumble off the ride, but you hung with your free hand and balanced yourself. Be careful. I'm trying. Your rides were synced up in movement, almost there. Your efforts were rewarded when you caught a hold of her hand. We did it! Yeah. It was a battle to keep together as the rides went backwards. The two of you kept almost being accidentally pulled off your seats by the other, but that made it more fun. Soon all the rides came to a stop, and the group dismounted. Derek looked about absolutely pleased at the conclusion of this pit stop. Then you noticed something out of the corner of your eye. You tilted your head to look directly at it, and you burst into laughter. What's funny? You turned back to the group and nodded in the direction of where you were looking. Isn't that one of those machines that takes dollars and gives you quarters back, the kind that exists for people who don't have quarters on hand? Everyone's head moved that way and saw that you were right. Derek chuckled awkwardly. That's exactly what that is. We're kinda dumb. We have to be to miss that this whole time. Ugh. Come on, let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't been everywhere yet. Hear that? Well, here. You move along from one stop towards your next, still jovial from the experience. Shortly into your walk, Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie cup. Derek went after her and threw his cup away. You followed suit and got rid of your empty cup too. Cove was the last to throw his cup away. He took one final sip, making sure he got every last drop. The clock inched closer to 7 p.m. as you all made your way back to the directory. It was hard to believe how fast the day went by. Where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know. She's just like that. Ooh, it's a mystery. Despite having vanished for the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hits, you spotted Kira coming right over, waving cheerfully. As soon as she was close enough, she pinched Cove's cheek. Hey, baby and friends. Hi, Mom. He pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other. Did you have a good day, gang? Yeah. Today was awesome. We did so much. It was fun. You really enjoyed your day. You thought there were ways it could have been worse. You didn't enjoy the outing. I would have really enjoyed it. I just like spending time with people. There's no hiding your joy like the others. You were smiling ear to ear because today went so much better than you expected. I'm glad we came here. I want to hear all about it during the ride back. She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided attention. Speaking of that, we better head out. Cliff must be missing us. And you've got to be starving. It's dinner time and you haven't eaten yet. Yeah. Everyone followed her lead and started walking out the door to the parking lot. Something about what Kira said felt off to you. There were a ton of places to eat. It's a mall. You could have had dinner. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you could feel your eyebrows raise when it dawned on you. She might have been keeping an eye on you after all. You weren't pleased about that. She didn't have to lie. That was actually pretty slick. You weren't sure about that. It seemed kind of sketchy. You know, that was pretty slick. If she hadn't made that comment, you never would have known. You found it hard not to be impressed. Ooh, not once could you recall even catching a glimpse of her hanging around, though now that you think about it, not seeing her ever was suspicious in and of itself. Shaking off those thoughts, you caught up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangements as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the store. The drive went by without any problems as it was filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you arrived at your destination. It was a much faster trip considering this time Kira knew where she was going. Hearing the light jingle bells from the front door being open, Cliff poked his head out from the back. He lit up seeing who was here. Hey, sport, did everyone have an adventure? Hi, Dad. We had an absolute blast. Yes, we found the mall. The mall, wish I could have joined. He deflated in an exaggerated way. His shoulders slopped. Kira put a hand on his arm and smiled. There'll be other times. Are you set here? Almost. Mr. Holden sighed for real. He put himself together, standing up straight.
Do you mind?
I need just a little more time to finish up. Will you be alright killing time for a little bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir. No problem, Mr. Holden. We can have fun here. Excellent. What a great group of kids. He gave an approving thumbs up and Kira nodded along. I'll give you a hand. I remember the ropes. Why, thank you. They walked side by side to the back room. Before he was out of sight, Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. And then the parents were gone again. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah. Oh, I saw those on the way here. I really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Ari? All right. With a smile, Cove showed the way. Between the warm summer air and the smell of ocean, you couldn't ask for a better night. Thank you for letting me come. Me too. Right, I'm happy we did this. Today was great. Cove, your mom and dad are really cool. Really? Totally. Cove looked at Lee oddly. He ran a hand through his hair, and then his puzzled expression cracked with a chuckle. I guess sometimes they are. You continued walking. Every so often, you would look up at the sky and see several stars poking out between the clouds. At one point, you noticed that Cove stopped while Lee and Derek kept going on ahead, busily chatting. Initially, you wondered if something was wrong. You quickly noticed that he was still looked to be in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick, acknowledging look when you stopped at his side. You could taste the sea salt as you took a deep breath of the ocean air. Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little while. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention, and you and Cove both turned your gaze down the pier. What are you doing there, slowpokes? Get over here. Hey, come on. You looked at Cove. The same time he looked at you, you grinned and nodded your head in the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile in return. Your footsteps echoed against the wooden planks of the dock and into the night as you ran to catch up. Ah, that was a good one. That was a little longer than I was expecting, and I'm trying not to make these the longest videos in the world for everybody, so I say we save here. And boop. I like that they have the name underneath, because that tells me which one I'm loading into. I hope you guys enjoyed the game today, and if you did, remember to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more, especially if you want to see where this goes, because we got a lot of DLC to get through. This is only step 2. We still have step 3 afterwards, and step 4 is just kind of an epilogue, but it's still fun. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!